Andy Reid likes the proposed revolution to the kickoff. It should be exciting and new. Boy, he's ripping off the theme song to the Love Boat. We'll see what happens. I don't know if it's going to pass, but if it does, I think it adds a little excitement and newness to it, right? Is that a word? Newness? I don't know. Ask Chris Simms.
I don't
know.
Is.
He's dipping into your Simms
How dare
into the
you.
day calendar. Look, Chris, this is the most dramatic change to the game since, at a minimum, when they moved the extra point from the 2 to the 15 if you're going to kick one. Maybe since they embraced the 2-point conversion in 1994. This is tremendous. This takes a play that has evolved to the point where it is dead because the touchbacks are so prevalent now. The return rate's 22%, and that even seems high when you watch a game. Like, where's the 1 out of 5 times that somebody's returning a kick? Not in the game I'm watching. There's going to be returns all over the place, returns up the wazoo. Because if you kick it into the end zone, the receiving team gets it at the 30. And if you're short of the landing zone, they get it at the 40. It's going to be return after return after return if it passes. But here's my take on this. When you look at the proposal that came out last Wednesday or Thursday, it is so long. There are so many questions. There are so many potential unintended consequences. They've already moved the touchback from the 35 to the 30. That happened yesterday. There's no way they're going to pass this today. This thing's getting bumped till May because there's going to be questions that they're not going to be able to answer in whatever session they do today. And they're not going to want to sit down and figure out every last thing. They're going to get overwhelmed at some point and say, let's just resolve these issues and let's take it up in May. They don't have to do it now. It can wait 2 months.
That's right. It's still going that way. I still think the general push from everybody in the NFL is to make this happen. There's not only the special teams coaches, we know it, but it's got the backing of the head coaches. It's actually got the backing of 345 Park, and we know they met with the special teams coaches and all that as well. So this is one where they want to make it happen, and I think there's legitimate excitement, Mike. I mean, I got calls from coaches last week talking about our conversation on Thursday about the new kickoff rule and all that. Got some calls from special teams coaches because, one, they were happy that we saw the positives in it, and they're excited about the possibilities like we talked about. The schematics of it, right? It's still an exciting play. It's a big part of football, and there's more there to be had here as far as what can be done here. So, I think everybody in the league really is behind this to keep this play available. But yeah, you're right. I think they gotta tinker with some of the things here so they can explain it and make sure it's well thought out and everything's set up the right way. And it doesn't sound like they're quite there yet.
Yeah, you don't want to leave any unanswered questions or potential loopholes that could turn the whole thing into a mess. You just don't want to do that. You want to have it all thought out and ready to go.
So, and let's get this straight here because this is the part. So, traditional touchback, ball gets kicked in the end zone, right? The guy now, returner, has to get the ball and I believe put his knee to the ground, right? And now he'll get the ball there at the 30. Is that what they're saying there? This is just so I have this straight. And now
that was yesterday's change.
That was yesterday's change.
Not the 35, but the 30.
The 30 for that. Now what, like you said, they got to land the ball between the 20 and the goal line. If they land it a little short, then the ball will go to the 40-yard line, right? Do I have that part of it down?
Correct.
Okay, cool. I did. That's to me
25 yards from the spot of the kick.
Gotcha.
25 yards from the spot of the kick.
Okay.
So if it's back some, it's 25 yards from there.
Yep. Okay.
We talked about that whole penalty enforcement, and that's subject to tweaks. There's just too much that could be tweaked. And Chris, here's my concern, and this is why they have to think all this through.
Yeah.
If you make the touchback the 30 instead of the 35, and you have teams that decide, you know what, I'm going to put Tyreek Hill back here to return kicks because it's not a high-speed collision anymore. I don't have to worry about what I used to have to worry about was somebody coming down, at top speed and diving into his knee and tearing his ACL. It's all tight, and I get past one line of
one wave
defense,
of guys,
and he's gone.
Right.
And he's gone.
Right.
You're going to have teams that say, hell yeah, I'll just kick it out of the back of the end zone and give you the 30. I'm not kicking it to Tyreek Hill. No way in hell am I kicking it to Tyreek Hill. So that's part of what they got to think through. Maybe the 35 would be better to avoid a scenario where teams start using their best offensive players and they start getting long returns, and the other team just says, screw it, I'm kicking it out of bounds. I'm going to do what I used to do, put it through the uprights if I have to. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.